Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn love reading, and this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take the parts that do resonate. If it does not, leave the parts that do not resonate, as those may be meant for someone else. All right, so we're going to get the whispers of love for an overall energy to see what's going on with your relationship. We're going to get some animal oracle cards. We're going to look at what you may possibly be struggling with, what you may need to look at, and future energies that may possibly be coming in for you. Then we'll get some tarot and some clarifiers. All right, Capricorn love life, Capricorn relationship. What are they possibly struggling with? What are they having a hard time with? Who needs to hear a message? All right, we have love who you are. You are divine, delightful, and deserving of the wonderful things life has to offer. So this also could just be a relationship for loving yourself, for looking out for yourself, for loving who you are. All right, Capricorn, what are they possibly struggling with? What do they need to be aware of in love with another or oneself? Capricorn struggling with. All right, so we had these two popped over. We have koi fish spirit. We have there is always enough, and then we have time to let go. So there may be something that you need to let go of, right? Time to let go. And sometimes we feel like sometimes I feel like we stay in relationships because we feel like, oh, I'll never find another person, right? Or I'll never be in another relationship. And I feel like that's not why we should stay in a relationship. That if we need to let go of a relationship, then we need to let it go. And there's always enough, right? And that if we hold on to a relationship that we're not happy in, or we're not feeling positive about the relationship, then I feel that we're stopping ourselves from finding the right person, from finding the right relationship, because we're staying stuck in this wrong relationship because we're thinking, well, there's not enough, or no one's going to, I'm not going to find that other person. All right, what does Capricorn need to look at? What does Capricorn need to look at? We have whale spirit, trust in the great mystery. Trust that, okay, if something's ending, if a door is closing there, that another door will open up. But I feel like the reason why that door closed is because you have to love who you are. You have to love yourself first before you can love someone else, right? That you have to believe that you are lovable, that you have to believe that you deserve love, that you deserve the best love. You have to do that first before someone else can do that. Future energies, we have surrender now, kind of, realizing that fact that yes, you have to love who you are, that you have to look out for yourself, that if something ends, then that wasn't meant to be, but something better, trusting in the great mystery that there's something better waiting for you. And that's what you have to believe in. You can't get angry or irritated or frustrated in what's not happening, because then you're going to start manifesting that negative energy, and then you're going to be manifesting those negative things in. And you want to stay positive, and you're like, okay, if I'm single right now, that's okay. So I'm going to start working on myself. I'm going to love who I am. I'm going to keep myself in that positive frame of mind. All right, so let's get some tarot cards here. So what do we have for Capricorn for what they may need to look at? Struggling. All right, we have the Five of Wands being upside down. I kind of just feel like with the Five of Wands up, right side up is you're going back and forth with something, but I almost feel like you're coming into the realization that you have to let go of something, right? I feel like with it right side up, you're holding on to something, right? You're holding on to that, you're holding on to the rope. So if it's right side up, I feel like you're holding on to the rope here, like you're holding on to something. But I feel like with it upside down, I feel like you realize you're struggling with realizing that it's time to let go of something. All right, you're struggling with starting new and starting fresh. You're struggling with that you don't want to start at the beginning, that you don't want to, that you're wondering if there will be another relationship for you. I feel like you're struggling with that grounding energy. I feel like you're struggling with yourself. That's what I feel like. All right, so what does Capricorn need to look at? Trusting the great mystery. What else does Capricorn need to look at? All right, we have Ace of Swords, looking about the ways to get past the situation and the ways to see the situation as where one door is closing, another door is opening. That if this relationship is ending, then I need to spend some time on myself. That maybe there are things that I need to process and I need to work on for myself. That I have to start taking those first steps as to accepting what is going on here that I need to let go of. Also, what it is that you need to look at is that since you've closed that door, a new relationship is coming in for you. I knew one of these cards was either the Two of Cups or an Ace of Cups or the Lovers. I feel like I felt one of these was going to come in to show you that there is a new relationship coming in for you, that there is this newness coming in, but I feel like you have to work on yourself first, right? Giving up the negativity. Surrender now the negativity about yourself, right? Or saying that you only deserve, you know, this little bit, but really you deserve to be treated the best. And that's what you have to believe. All right. Future energies. The Emperor could be an Aries coming in for you, but I feel like it's somebody who's very grounded. I feel like it's somebody who's knows the direction that they want to go. I also feel like that's you're coming into that own energy yourself, as you know, okay, this is what I'm going to accept and this is what I'm not going to accept. That I'm not going to repeat these relationship patterns from the past, that I want to move on from that, that I don't want to go through that same cycle anymore, that I want to change things, right? That I want to let go of those cycles that I was repeating in the past. And then we have the Ace of Cups over here again, and turning things around and saying, I know what I don't want and I know what I do want, and working on that and staying in that frame of mind and loving yourself and choosing relationships that are right for you, not ignoring red flags. If you feel there's red flags or there's repeated relationship things that are happening, it's like, okay, let me step back, let me take a look at this, let me see, is this really something that I want to go through again, or do I need to make better choices for myself? Okay, King of Cups, kind of letting go of some things that maybe before that you would have held on to, but now you're ready to let those things go, but not worrying about it, kind of being easy and not worrying about it. And when the time is right, that person will come in for you and that things will happen for you. But right now I feel like it's time for you to work on yourself. All right, so let's get some more cards. More cards for Capricorn. What else do we have for Capricorn? We have Five of Wands. Sometimes we're going to have those days where we go back and forth, where we're like, I don't know, you know, because it's almost like when you're in a relationship and then you break up, it's even though you kind of know, okay, that was the right thing or that was the best thing, but then you kind of gotten used to that regularity of, did they text you in the morning? Did they text you at night? Or there's someone to talk to? Or maybe it wasn't the best, but you still felt like someone was there. And I almost feel like sometimes like you want to go back to the habit just because you kind of like those little scraps that you were getting. But I feel like you have to realize that you deserve more than just scraps, right? That you deserve more of a relationship than just scraps here and there. It also could be a past relationship that you were holding on to. We have the Four of Wands. I do feel that there's a new, stronger connection coming in for you, a true partnership, one that will work together. But like I said, you have to make the decisions that are best for you, right? You have to look for those partners or those relationships that are positive and are checking off that list as to those things that you do want and leaving those things that you don't want. You have to make those choices that are better for you, right? Listening to your inner voice. If you're feeling like there's a red flag, if you're feeling like there's something wrong, if you're feeling like something's not right, that you're like, okay, I'm going to acknowledge that. I'm not going to ignore it. That maybe in the past, that's what you were ignoring, right? Something would happen. You're like, I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to ignore it, right? It'll get better. It'll get better. And it never does. It just gets worse. And that this time around that you're going to acknowledge that. You're going to listen to that inner voice, that inner feeling that your inner gut is telling you, that if it's saying, okay, wait a minute, something's not right here. All right, so let's get some more cards for Capricorn. What else do we have for Capricorn here? Okay, we have Ace of Pentacles. I almost feel like maybe you start working out, or you start eating better, or you start feeling physically better. I feel like when you move away from this energy, when you've let that go, that I feel like you start to feel better. I feel like you feel lighter. I feel like you feel physically and mentally better, right? And then you're able to start to take actions, that you start doing things, that you start getting out there. I almost feel like you start focusing on those things that are important to you, that maybe you had kind of forgotten about because you were in a relationship, or you were so busy thinking about a past relationship that you were kind of weren't pursuing those things that made you happy, right? We have the Nine of Wands. I feel like you're tired and you're exhausted mentally, but I also feel like, but you are feeling better. I feel like, again, I was looking at this Ace of Cups. I feel like there's a new relationship that's coming in for you. I feel like you feel happy. You're feeling happier. Sometimes when things first happen, we don't realize, like, we feel sad and we kind of had that loss and the loss of the routine. But then it's like, you know what? I really do feel better. And sometimes right away we feel better. We're like, oh, okay, I don't have that burden on me. And then all of a sudden it hits us that person's not there anymore. And then we're like, okay, I don't feel better. And then it's okay, then I do feel better, right? You have this back and forth. You have this up and down, right? And I feel like once you realize that this was something that was good for you and that you're opening the doors to new opportunities, I feel like you kind of let those burdens go that you're carrying around. You have that inner strength. You're loving who you are. You're making better choices for yourself. You're realizing that you're a stronger, confident person than you thought you were, and that you are making those decisions that are best for you, that you're looking out for yourself finally, that you're not accepting the less than, right? You can't really see that right now. We have Moon, which is Pisces. You can't really see that right now. You can't really see that because I feel like you're kind of in this upside down Five of Wands, and you're in the time to let go, and you're kind of thinking that there's not going to be another chance for you, or you're not going to find love, or you're running out of time. And like, we kind of think of all of these things that we worry about, but we can't put that energy and that stress out there, right? We have to realize, okay, that wasn't meant to be, and keep telling ourselves that there's something better that's coming in. There's something, that, because we're seeing it from a different set of eyes, because we're loving ourselves and we're making decisions and choices that are better for us. We're just not accepting something because it's there. We're accepting something because we know that it's the right thing for us, right? All right, what do I want to close out with? Let's close out with a healing. Whispers of healing. Sometimes we kind of look around and we see what other people have, but we can't get upset by that. We can't let that bother us, even though it does. And I know it's hard because I've definitely been there. Right? That we may have some things that we need to deal with ourselves, right? Learning to love who you are, that we need to learn to work on ourselves first, so we can have the clarity to see of what we don't want and what we do want. We have release, okay? So release again. So we had time to let go. We have the upside down Five of Wands. We have the surrender now. We have release. There's definitely something that you need to let go of. You know, we have all of these clouds, and we have the lightning. So there's something that you are holding on to that you need to release and that you need to let go. And this may be something that takes some time. This could take months. This could take years, right? There's some sort of energy, thoughts, process, subconscious energy that you are holding on to, that you need to process, that you need to work through, that you need to release. And when you do that, that lightness comes in, and you start making better choices for yourself and better decisions for yourself. And trust me, I know, because this is exactly what I went through. Sometimes we just want, you know, this to happen by the end of next week, right? You're like, okay, I've released it, I let it go. Where's my relationship? Where's my partner? And then sometimes we think, well, you know, I've released, I've let stuff go. But then it's like when we have that more time to ourselves, we realize, oh, you know what, I was still kind of holding on to stuff. There was still stuff going on here. I still needed that time to process things. I haven't fully let go. That there was more to it than what I was seeing. And for me, you know, and it doesn't happen that quickly. And sometimes we get frustrated with the process, and then maybe we may start dating someone just because we're like, well, I feel like I'm over it and I'm done. But you know what? Then you date somebody and you're in that same routine, you're in that same pattern, and you're like, oh gosh, here we go again. Or you start to date someone and you're like, yeah, I can't do it. I can't go through it, right? You only make it a few weeks and you're like, yeah, something's not right. Something hasn't been released. And for me, it took me about 5 years to really process and release and let things go. I'm not saying it's going to take you 5 years, but I'm saying for me to truly have released what it was I've had to release, and I let that go, and I felt so much better. I was working on myself. I was focusing on my YouTube channel. I was kind of building my own life. I was building my own direction. And yeah, I kind of felt sad. You know, I was like, oh, I'm never going to find someone, right? I guess I'm going to be alone, right? But I'm going to be happy, right? I'm happy alone. That I, you know, have my living space. I have my girls. I have my, you know, YouTube. I have my hair. I have my retail job. I have all of these things going on. And I'm focusing on the positive, And then all of a sudden, someone's come in. So, and it feels so different from any other relationship, and it feels so exciting, and I've definitely waited a long time for this person, but I'm very happy that I did, because when I met this person, I am in the best place that I have ever been, and I can give this person the best version of me. And I know that I don't need this person, right? That I will function perfectly fine by myself. But I would like to have this person in my life, right? This person is sort of that cherry on top of my life, right? So I never thought it was going to happen for me. And then I worked on myself, and I released, and I let go, and I focused, and I was positive. Definitely times where I was frustrated. Definitely it was hard to go to gatherings and parties and functions and weddings for other people, being the single person, but it wasn't right. And now it is. So I'm very happy about this. So I'm telling you that this can happen, right? I'm telling you that you don't know when that time is. There were times when I thought, you know, it was going to happen, or I wanted to get back into it, but I was like, no, I really realized that I needed to take the time to myself to process and to love who I was, to love who I am. And that made a big difference for me. And then I know that when this person came in, I knew what I had to offer. I knew what I wanted. I knew how I wanted to be treated and how I didn't want to be treated. And that person was in the same place. So, you know, that person was going through all of their things too. So they had to go through their stuff, and I was going through my stuff, right? And then we both kind of met up at the same time in that same place where we're, you know, at a good place in our lives. So it worked out very well. It's working out very well. So I'm just saying, sometimes you may feel like you are ready, but then that other person may have stuff that they're going through, and to keep that in mind too. I just feel like when the time is right, everything will line up and things will just happen. And that's what you have to believe in, and not get frustrated in the process. And that there's so much for you to learn and to love about yourself in the process, and to release those things. So believe me, it can happen. Don't know when, but if you believe it and you stay positive, it will happen. I definitely believe that. All right, thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.